Welcome, everyone. We're happy to see all of you here, and I'm sure more will still join very soon. So we're really happy that you joined us for our first monthly talks webinar of the year. We really wanted to sum up the quarter, so that's why we waited until end of March to host that. So today we're really excited to walk you through some of the latest features we've been working on. And for those who couldn't join us live, don't worry, the session is being recorded, so we'll send it out afterwards. And yeah, we're here today with Mario and Gabor, who will be hosting this session.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining. Thanks for
Hello.
listening.
Nice to be here.
Great. Thanks, guys. Yeah, so with no further ado, let's jump into our packed agenda for today. We have a few points to cover. So yeah, we'll start with a fresh new update on the in-app notifications, our first release. Then we'll cover a new user profile, improved achievements management, but also a few new features related to translations. We'll show you our new look and feel of the content cards and talk about a few authoring tool improvements out of many, just to really have a focus for this webinar. And finishing with webinar reporting improvements and library management. So now the very first point, which is in-app notifications. So here, actually, Mario and Gabor, would you like to take us through this very first feature in detail?
Yes, yeah, we'd love to. So notifications is definitely a very exciting one for us. I think it's going to bring a lot of value to the platform. So it's very fun. You'll really have your own proper notifications area now. So in the system, basically on the front end, you have like the notification system. People have the little bell. They can see how many notifications they have in the application. So it gives this feeling of a little bit getting updates, excitement on the platform. And it's a way of also, reaching out to your learners without maybe disturbing them necessarily by push notification or email. But however, as you just saw on the screen, you can also now send push notifications. So for everyone that's using the app, it means that you can also have these little pop-ups come on their screen. So it's really very nice in terms of notifying users, reminding them about an upcoming webinar, reminding them of a new lesson or new piece of content assigned to them. So I think in terms of the communication with your learners, it's a very fun and very exciting feature. It's very similar to, maybe the notification center that you have on Facebook, for example. It's going to give you different types of notifications, and you, of course, as an admin, can really fully manage that. So you can decide how often, how frequent, what type of notifications, if at all. So this is something that our team can help you set up. Do you want to comment a bit on the technical side, Gabor?
Yeah, sure. Actually, so at the moment, there are different kind of notifications we can send out. So when you select, for example, a content, this is the most common, that there is a new release of a course, and then you can very easily send out a notification to the users. It's very easy because you don't have to select the users themselves. You start the notification right from the card, from the admin area, and then the system will know who has access to this notification and send it out for them. For our clients who have mobile applications and the users accepted, a push notification is also automatically sent out. So at the moment, there is no possibility to select if you want to send a push notification or just an in-app. Simply, everyone who has the application installed and accepted notifications will receive the push one. And all the rest will receive like this in-application notification in the bell icon, as Marion mentioned. So this is the first and most important one, to send out one notification about the new content. Of course, you can also send out a notification from the library. So if there is a new item in the library, or an item has been refreshed, the same process applies. You can select the library file and send out this notification. Sometimes notifications is not necessarily connected to a content. So it's also possible to go just to the user section, do the selection of users you want to send out the notification to. It can be also one user or just a smaller group, based on any filtering possibilities that we have in the user section. And then this notification is also sent out to the same way. And when someone is tapping on a notification on the phone or under the bell icon, when it is connected to content, they directly go to this content to preview. And when it is just a global notification, they will land on the dashboard because maybe it was some custom information. At the moment, all these notifications are manual. We also thought it's very important, even for the content, to be manual, because sometimes the system cannot decide, when you actually want to send an update notification. Maybe it was just a minor update and no notification needs to be sent about it. So you really have the control as an administrator to send out this information to the users. And we are thinking of course, automatized notifications as well. For example, if a webinar date is approaching, or when someone was not present on the platform for a while. And this is where the other formats will come into the picture, because we said a push notification on in-app, but we are going to very soon add the email notifications as well. For example, if someone again was not present on the platform for a while, then they can be also like drawn back with a nice email to come back to the platform. So this is how we are planning it. Notifications already support multi-language. It's important as well. So
Yes,
the
good point.
base language is English, but on the right top corner at the moment of this pop-up that we are seeing here, you can switch the language and set the other languages as well, and it will appear to the users in their preferred language that they selected otherwise on their profile. And this is a simple pop-up, what we are seeing on the admin interface, really like version 0.1 or 1.0. But we already have a new design with a complete notification center also for administrators, to be able to even to schedule a notification and improve. It's going to be really a nice add-on very soon for
No,
us.
for sure. It's a good point. I think it's a really important point about the translations, because we know that for most of our clients, you might have multilingual as well. And also this new design. So as Gabor said, this is the first V1 release. It's only going to get more advanced, more options, but I think in general, notifications are really key for your e-learning platform. And I think also for your link with the community, it's always just about finding that balance to have the right amount, not too many, not too few. And this is also why we really give you full control. But I think we covered it, huh?
Yes.
Yeah, that's really perfect. Thanks a lot, and I'm sure that this topic will bounce up, in the next months when we introduce the next phases of notifications. So we can definitely jump to our next topic, which is the new user profile, and this is actually something that we have developed to some extent at this stage. What you see on the animation, it's indeed, let's say, the aim of what we really want to see. So yeah, Mario, Gabor, you can really take us through the details now.
Yeah, I mean the user profiles again, I think a really key feature for the learning experience of the students. So this is really where they can basically see their own profile. And as you can see here, it's very visual now. So we really wanted to make sure, first of all, that your profile is a bit more rich. So you can see all your statistics, see your general performance, find your badges, your certificates, so everything that you want to refer to. And we wanted to make it a bit visual as well, so you kind of feel like your own stats dashboard of your own personal performance. So as you can see here, it's really about the points you've earned, the milestones you've done, and you can just find it by clicking on the right-hand corner in your profile. And then you can see your performance, how far you've gotten, how many logins you did, things like that. And as you can see here, there's going to be certain statistics already rolled out, certain ones are still coming. But I think it's just really nice to see your kind of improvement over time as well. And then, of course, yeah, the fact that you can download all your certificates easily, I think it's very, very important. So we just wanted to make sure that everything is kind of centralized in one place. Anything to add, Gabor?
Yeah, I think it's a good step as well that we are planning to have very soon public profiles as well, because at the moment you can only see your own profile. But with this step forward that is more visual, we are kind of making the path to be able to see each other's profiles as well, each other's achievements. It's going to be also a very nice way of building the internal communication and the community. So yeah, we are really, really happy. And also, as Mario said, now you see some statistics. We will improve these statistics as well. So it's nice to see your progression and have access to your badges, certificates, and stats at the same place.
Yeah, great. Thanks a lot for this overview on this feature. We can then jump into our next feature improvement in general, which is achievements management. And with this update, we really wanted to take the gamification to the next level and make it really nice and easy for the admins to manage on the back end. So first of all, we moved the achievements to the side menu. So you right now have it at hand when you really want to manage all the badges, milestones, whatever you call your awards in this sense. We also introduced, as you could just see on the animation, we also introduced a new type of achievement. So I will pass it on to Gabor now to introduce, let's say, more details on this one.
Yes, this improvement was indeed an improvement for users as well, for admins as well, because on users, now they can also see their certificates under the achievement sections, because that's also an achievement. So before it was a bit hidden under the profile, so now you can see the certificates as well under achievements. It's important you can also turn on certificate sharing on LinkedIn. So I don't know if everyone is aware of this, but you can connect the company LinkedIn profile, enable this feature, and then people could share their their certificate on LinkedIn. And we also have a kind of a URL where people from LinkedIn can or other LinkedIn users can click on it and see this certificate. Is it still valid? And have a nice view as well. So that's a side note for achievements. But of course, for admins as well, because it was pretty much hidden under settings, you had to find it and so on. So as Julia said, now it is in the side menu. It's much more visual, much more clear to understand. And now it could be open for other administrators as well, potentially in the future, not necessarily only for global admins, but at the moment it's the global administrators who can manage it. However, even most importantly is the new types. Yes. So before you were able to give a badge to someone manually as an admin, and also after content completion, like a specific course completion, for example, or multiple courses or lessons, which was nice. But now we have this new type, which says you have to complete n, let's say 5 lessons or 10 courses, and we don't really define which ones. You can just complete, 5, 10 lessons and courses, and then we give a badge. But we have a lot of ideas for the very near future to roll out even more badges about, let's say 5 lessons which are tagged with a specific tag. So for example, you can make monthly activities of different kinds and then give a badge for it. And we have quite a lot of new gamification features as well in mind, which we are currently working on. So it will be probably the topic of the next or the one of the coming monthly talks. And those will come also with additional badges. So the number of types of badges this year are just going to exponentially grow.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's for sure. So we could call this year like, first releases, and then we're going to introduce more and more improvements to the new features. Great. So moving on to our next topic. So we have translations, and we actually have two elements here that we wanted to quickly take you through. So starting with the proofreader role, we introduced that role in order for the proofreaders or content validators to really make sure that they can actually check the text inside the platform without external sharing of the content, etc., to really avoid additional workload. And we made sure that the proofreader role is really adjusted to the needs of that specific role. And this one, maybe Gabor, you can take over now for the technicalities.
Yes, the proofreader role has 2 very specific, let's say, properties. Is one that the proofreaders cannot change the English content, to preserve the English as is. And the second one is that we can define which languages a specific proofreader has access to. So we can say, because before you were able to define which content, it's like a basic functionality. But now it's easy to say, okay, this proofreader can manage this course only in Italian language, and we are sure that they cannot touch the English one, and it's a level of safety. We are planning to have this year more interesting features about translation as well. For example, to be able to translate a content into multiple languages at once, so you don't have to go through your 15 languages. Some clients of ours have a lot of languages, so it is much easier to translate everything at once. But let me also speak about some sub features that we already rolled out. For example, you can publish a language variant for a specific lesson separately, because before all the languages were published at the same time with the English. Now you can really say, okay, I have, let's say, English and French published, but I'm still working on the Italian language, which is really helpful because the different proofreader teams are working with different pace. So that's really like a huge help.
It's a game changer, huh?
Yeah. Also, it's a small technical feature, but very important for some clients, that now we are not just allowing DeepL, Google Translate, and Microsoft Translate engines, but a so-called custom translation engine, which means if in-house or you have a provider for your own translation engine, which is, let's say, using more AI, using more your vocabulary, it is learning your fixed fixed translations, getting more accurate, then this can be quite easily connected. We have a few clients who already use this, and it's also kind of a security aspect. Some clients say, I don't want our content to go out to a translation engine, so you can also keep it in-house. So that's a great help. And actually, we are partnering with one more translation tool and agency. So we will let you know as well very soon, which is coming.
Yeah, but this is really gonna be like a major improvement, I think, for everyone in terms of the process. Like you said, it's so often that, one language is a bit slower than the other. So the fact that you can publish them individually and use even your own translation tool is just a huge improvement. So very exciting.
But we also have a lot of ideas in terms of translation for the future or this year. I'm not going to shoot all the bullets now, but we have really a lot of plans because we are receiving very nice feedback from our clients, and they were very happy for that.
Yeah, yeah, indeed, exactly. So if you have any kind of ideas for us as well after this webinar, we are happy to hear your thoughts. Definitely. Great. So we covered the translations topic, so we can now move on a bit to the UI and the UX. So now maybe Mario, you can take us through the topic of new look and feel of the content card in general.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's sort of two things that changed. It's really a much more visual upgrade than like a really feature change. But first of all, as you saw for the catalog, we can now have the background banner. We can have the search bar, so we can like really make the catalog page look a little bit more customized. And then we just did a small UX visual upgrade on the cards. The idea is also that we're rolling out more and more changes so that you'll also be able to do vertical, horizontal cards, these type of things. But the first, let's say, upgrade is already rolled out, so just a little bit more user friendly in terms of the layout. Um, Really, from our point of view, which is to keep improving the front end experience for the students, just to have the optimal image size, text underneath. So we're just always improving a little bit. Another challenge that we saw that we really wanted to overcome is that sometimes the users were getting lost between the different levels. So we tried to distinguish slightly, but very sort of small details each level so that you don't get too confused whether you're in a course or you're on the lesson level. So we're really working actively always on that, just improving small details for the learner to hopefully make the learning journey, let's say, better and better. I don't know if you have anything to add, Gabor, from the technical side?
Not really to the cards actually. We are working in the shadows to revamp the whole settings section, so to
Yes.
say, and the whole backend, because we know that we keep adding all these features under settings, and sometimes it's hard to find things,
Yeah.
which is natural. So we are aware of it. So the UX team is almost ready with the new setting section look and feel. It will be much easier to understand and search for different features and functions. But this is like a bit coming later. It's like
Yes.
development still. But also maybe around the cards, generally speaking, we improved the quality of the images
Yes.
on the platform. It can be on the content cards, on thumbnails, or just basically any image, especially when it comes to iPhone or other Apple devices, or devices which have so-called this high pixel density, because they kind of require a bigger quality of image. So now we developed our own system for manipulating images, which is supporting this. So we are like almost finished in production with this step. So you should be seeing like a quality increase very soon. And it's important because of quality increase, it means like bigger images as well as data transfer. So at the same time, we are trying to make them smaller as well for data transfer to kind of keep a balance. So we are very excited. This is a kind of a technical feature. We work on technical features all the time and security improvements, which are not so fancy for the look and feel. Sometimes they're happening in the background, but of course, the image quality improvements is something which is very important.
Yeah, it's still
Yeah.
gonna make the learning experience much better. So I think it's still, even though those technical settings happen in the background, I think we're always working to improve the student experience.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Those points are also really important. So thanks for mentioning that, Kapor. Great. So now moving on to the authoring tool improvements. We listed just a few, but of course we have more and more of those available, and we also invite you to view our changelog. It's available on the admin panel for each platform, so you can really track all the latest feature updates and new releases. But yeah, moving to the topic now, we recently introduced the autosave and preview features for the authoring tool. So it really improves the whole um, admin experience while
Yeah.
creating the content. So yeah, when it comes to the preview function, you can now see a little showcase. And then first of all, you of course need to set it up in the settings, but this would allow you to preview the content at the same time while editing the screen on the pop-up. But also you can compare how it looks on the mobile, how it looks on um,
Yeah,
computer. So yeah, Mario.
it's maybe nice to mention as well that this was really a direct request from our clients. So this is really where we're really always welcoming any feedback from our community to say, okay, what would you like to see in the next version? We're of course also working on an authoring tool 2.0 version, so that's going to come out later this year. But in the meantime, we're actively always improving. So these small improvements like the autosave, but also the preview, it was directly requested and we managed it to implement it a bit quicker. So that's why it's already available now.
Yeah. And the autosave is as simple as it may seem. So you can enable that feature, and then it allows you to really play with the content, edit that, and do not worry about saving it or having the content disappeared while something crashes. So it might be a very useful feature while you work on a content a lot.
Yeah, what we saw is that it's a small feature, but then for someone in the content team who's creating maybe content even every day, it's actually a big deal. So that's why we said, okay, we implemented it immediately to really support them on that.
Yeah, exactly. So those authoring tool improvements are definitely for our content teams all over the world, in a sense. So yeah, with the next feature, it's also definitely for content creators to really ease their lives with uploading different images to the platform. And of course, we had those image editing possibility for the classic image widgets available a bit earlier, but now we also introduced for multiple widgets, including flashcards, accordion. So you can really now edit directly the photo, either crop it or really play with the colors, with blur, as you can see here on the screen. Mario, would you like to add something to that point?
Yeah, just a very small side note. I mean, you covered it all, Julia, but really that it just makes the life of content editing sometimes a little bit easier. So this means you don't need to pre-crop the images anymore. You don't need to really rework any kind of lighting or anything like that. You can now do it directly. But again, just really to make the efficient, make it even more efficient in terms of content editing. But you covered it all, Julia. So I think we can go on.
Perfect. Great. So then the next one is a bit more technical, but then overall, if you really play with the feature and use it for your content, it may be really useful and may change the whole user experience in the end. which is background video positioning. We recently introduced the background video in the slide builder, but right now we also enabled this option for positioning it, whether it's more, let's say, auto kind of placement, or you want to align the video to the top, to the bottom. So now you can really play with that, and for sure, it's a lot of fun to test different setups.
Yeah, and it's just a detail, but we also know when it comes to design, details often matter to a lot of our users. So that's where we really want to always pay attention to more and more details. And as the system then also becomes more, let's say, complex because more options are available, we'll also keep working on really streamlining that for you so that it's not overwhelming and that you can easily find those features either in the authoring tool or, as Gabor said earlier, also in the admin, that we can really try and optimize the admin as much as possible because, of course, as we add complexity, we don't want anyone to get lost in our system, front end or back end.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Thank you, Mario. So now we can proceed with the webinar reporting improvements, which is a bit more technical and more for admin management, but we really made a huge step forward here. So, Gabor, would you mind telling a bit more about it?
Yes, basically we have two additional reporting areas on the webinars. One is to see who participated the webinar. So basically, users or who came from the LMS side, we can really track now, and it's great to see who was there finally. We are going to improve it with API integrations as well to see even more precise how long they stayed and so on. But this is, let's say, the first rollout. And the second is who watched the recording of the webinar. In this case, we can see the percentage if they watched fully the recording or just a portion of it. So this is also great to see, to track all these users who were just checking the recording of the webinar. And sometimes it's not a live webinar, you are just uploading the recording. So you need to have some kind of metrics there. We are still improving, but the next one will definitely talk about in-person events. I'm just mentioning now because you might already see it on your admin area because it is rolled out. We are finally here with the blended learning approaches. So you can manage webinars as well as in-person events, classroom events. It was the case already before, but it was not part of the event section. So now the webinar section is actually renamed to events. It's a very important change. And in one place now you can find both your webinars and in-person events. We are rolling out new administrative features for this month and next month. Actually, we are at the end of the month.
Yes.
But this blended learning feature was very much awaited, and now we are very close. Well, part of it is
Yeah.
live, and the other part of it is coming.
Coming very soon. And maybe one more thing about the webinars as well. I know for the webinar reporting, this was several of our clients that really requested it. And I think it's really nice in terms of then also validating certain certificates, because I know it's also important sometimes for you to see in the system, did someone really attend either the webinar live or the replay to make sure you can then really certify them for certain training. So this is also why it's so important to some of our clients. Other times it's really just to understand the success. Was the webinar very successful? Did people stay the entire time? So this is really why we keep trying to optimize these metrics, because we understand, of course, from a learning perspective that you really need to understand all of these statistics.
And not even saying about that, these statistics will open up a lot of opportunities because now that we know who took part of webinar or an on-site event or in-person event, now we will be able to give them badges. We already talked about badges.
Yeah.
There's going to be, again, a new badge type. If you participated one webinar or multiple webinars, you will be able to get badges very soon. And then also we will be able to add webinars and in-person events into learning paths.
Yes.
Yes. So this is coming also very soon, but all these are based on the fact that you participated. But it will be amazing to build up a path, that you have to participate these webinars, those events and so on. So it's an exciting.
For sure, a lot of exciting rollouts coming up soon. So we will make it a goal to have the next monthly talks that are coming up this year even more and more excited each time.
Yes, exactly. Lots of rich things coming for the learning paths, let's say.
Yeah. Great. So to wrap up this webinar, we have one last feature improvement we wanted to mention very quickly, because it was also a request coming from you, from the clients. So it's about managing the files by groups. So before, we really had this kind of like reference system that when you were adding a file and you wanted to address this document to a specific audience, you had to relate it to a specific content. And then it also has advantages, right? Because the content appears in the direct lesson or course. But right now, we also introduce content access by groups. So it means that you can then really choose different groups who should be able to view the particular files that you're adding here. Maybe, Gabor, you can just add about, let's say, the priority in terms of choosing the reference, content reference, and groups. What is, let's say, the prior if you choose both?
Got me on that. So we will check the documentations. I don't remember.
Yeah, if I recall correctly, I wanted to check your knowledge, but if I recall correctly, it is that the content reference comes first, but we'll check that for sure. Cool.
We also have a few questions actually coming. So
Perfect.
yeah, going backwards. So does the webinar reporting support MS Teams or only Zoom? At the moment, what we are tracking, if a user at the time of the webinar who is a participant clicks on starting the webinar, so let it be Zoom, which stays inside the platform, let it be an external platform. If the person is there and kind of joins, then we track the participation. So even for MS Teams in a way. Of course, we know that with API connection, it will be even more precise and we will have more information. At the moment, we only have API connection for Zoom, so that will be the first one to be even more precise to see how much time they spent on the webinar. But of course, we are planning to have at the point MS Teams integration as well to get this information. So yes, the basic data of participation is available if they joined using the platform. And I see two comments about notifications. Indeed, the notification feature works at the moment for those clients who have a mobile application, but in a few weeks, everyone will get this feature and then everyone can get the hands-on. So it is really in the corner.
Yeah, maybe to add to the notifications, I mean, of course, the push notifications will be, really for the mobile app, because you can only have a push notification on your phone if you have the app installed, because you have to give like the permission. Let's say it's also something that users always will have the right to switch off. So if someone, let's say, switches off push notifications, then even if you push it to them, they will not see it because it's locked on their phone. And then when it comes to the other notifications, you can then still choose to say, I want to do an email notification or I want to do an in-app notification that will be available to everyone. So there you do not need to have then the application installed.
Exactly. And in this question, we had also, can we notify users after logging in about something? So we didn't mention, but this in-app notification will have very soon two types. One we just call general notification, which is just under the bell, as we already mentioned. And the other one is called pop-up notification. So exactly for these kind of cases, when you really want to notify a user and make sure that they see this, you can highlight this notification and it will even generate a pop-up where you can upload an image, you can add an additional button and so on. So there will be a way how to kind of even highlight your information and make sure that users will see this.
Yeah. Any other questions that we got, Gabor? Just to make sure we don't miss anything.
Yes, we had one more. Is it possible to send to administrators based on a rule set? So you can send notification to basically anyone on the platform, but we don't have like this notification system per se under the admin area. So if an admin logs in to the app side, it is possible to say, I'm just sending to administrators, absolutely. but they will also see it under the application at the moment. Maybe in the future,
Yeah.
it could be a good idea.
I was going to say, I like the idea. So I like the way you're thinking. Right now, definitely, as Gabor said, it's really like a front-end feature. So it's notifications when you log in as a student. But why not? We could easily imagine in the future, whether it's this year or next year, but that you log into the admin, and as an admin, you have your own notifications bell really on the administration part. So I love the thinking, huh? Did we cover all the questions?
Yes.
And anyone else that wants to share a question now, you can raise your hand or you can
Someone
flag
from
it.
Texas, maybe.
Any questions for Brad? So yeah, anyone at all that feel free. And otherwise, of course, feel free also to reach out to us after you watch the live recording, or now. Feel free to just reach out to us. We're always happy to support. And of course, also feel free to let us know any ideas you have for future features. As you can see, we've been really, really busy at the beginning of this year. I think there's a lot of big improvements that we've worked on, but we're also not stopping there. So we're really also continuing, let's say, down this path. And we're very excited with our feature roadmap, but always open to hearing your ideas for improvements as well.
Well,
Yeah.
it's been great.
Anything to add, Julia, from your side?
Yeah, I think we covered a lot, and yeah, I guess we're really happy that so many of you joined us today, and that we had a few questions that we could already answer. So yeah, if anything, you can always reach us afterwards, and stay tuned for the next monthly talks.
We
Thanks a
have
lot.
so much else to say, but we need to hold it in,
Yeah, exactly.
So many other
Yeah.
features as well. But yeah, we need to leave some for the next event as well.
Exactly. Coming soon, huh? The next event coming soon with more exciting announcements and more exciting features. So we will have a busy year and an exciting year for you guys with a lot of updates and improvements coming. Right, Gabor?
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you so
Wishing you
much.
all a great day.